K-Bar TV, voice of the voices.
Hello, Sammy. Hello, Sammy. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Kojo.
Na, bibi abo kodia.
Una media say minia.
No. Me who why a press conference? Me na Sammy asam na okane modu.
Oh, Kojo, no credit to the biasa na tie. No credit sem bi wo ha emu eduro, but I was say yeka because on mine ho do ehia ye pa.
Baba asam no mai. Brigadier General.
Wa wonim saka enna du nwotwe. Na ye kwa akoto aba. Na batu we abatu a Ghana for ehia ye pa. Because eno ne akwenya ye wo se ye betumi esi agina ye pa den sisapa. Ensisa ye pa ebeba ya brobom. Enti Ghana ni bi ehwe ni mu se obenya akwenya na watu aba asumdue kwanso. Na pere yo aye adwuma. Na de Ghana for dodo so omo pese odi oman nanim no otimi be di oman nanim de Ghana for wo mpeso ahodo a wo Ghana so de mrase bedwafo no omo timi be ye mrase bedwafo enti eno ho ntoabo na amanyoku ahodo a ye wo Ghana ye bo ye nka bi nhye but yan konkote a from our credible intelligence sources in the military no na say we be a your friend Michael Opoku. The full name is Michael Kwadwo Opoku. And now I know say Oko Asante region, Kumasi to be precise, a honor tia. Or your soldier ni penya, a kufuado, amani post. The Dibrene say, or your general officer commanding for Central Command of the Ghana Armed Forces. Let's say, a soldier for Oyo say, o machiche Ghana mu Northern Command, Southern Command, and a Central Command.
Pacho, asana obeto aso no. Former Colonel Opoko no Blue Gate na asem na wo kan.
Yes, Colonel Opoko wo Blue Gate.
Okay, to us.
Ko me de pa se gunim papa no. Colonel Opoko ye wo Blue Gate 2019 31st January. Ye call ye by elections. Ewa ya so West Wogon. Na ye nyina ya boa ya won se o ye hwa ma bibia ya asumdwe ye nkonko hwa MPP ntitirafo a omo na SS omo ye national security for omo leader ye DSP Azugu na Abronye bia o ye MPP titire ni vigilante ye friend double edi omanim omo kita tuo e de mask akatakata wanim e call la baleshi NDC parliamentary candidate ni fie e ko tutuo Epe nipa, ebu nipa, ebu sitting member of parliament Sam George, my capture on TV sono. Eyesa Colonel Opoku o ma command ma say nyambran sem ne course na sem ne yeka. Samre no 2019 31st January ani ya was West Wogon by election no. No na ya director of operations e national security Blue Gate. So the near now also double as director of operations ono ena sa team aye form SWAT ohwe omo a omukodi sa nyambran se mo ye MPP ntitire fo a ewo MPP mu Delta Forces Invisible Forces omo tseni omo wasotware ne de keka ho no ono na ye omo leader enti omampenya kufuado ankasa che commission so omo hwehwe ayawa so West Wogon basa ye si ye ni mu commission ni ye ni hwehwe mu no omo to omo sa frɛ sa Colonel Opoku no okoye no se si tuntum atare fita tie fo be kai okoya o say oh the course ni nyina will take responsibility on na ye because DSP Azugu SNase na ono na man kwan man direct say omo nkoye de omo ye no enti commission ye ni hwehwe mu no omo report oko check paragraph 3.4 and 3.5 wa asem we wo ho minua ehu commission ni hu say ahurika semni oye ne basabasa ye wudi semwa e course so ayawa so West Wogon no by election no eye Colonel Opoku ena na o hyase enti potoka se mo ka se ono no mo de so bobo no as a person with ultimate responsibility for this year let us say ono ni nipa o se kira o ma sa hurika se ni nyina course ma ye prepare nipa ena mi nipa bebro mu ntimi nante obi ani hu ade because of kwaya Colonel Opoku ma MPP nti trafo ebu ni pepepra womo enti commission no and then is a commission of inquiry so there it has the powers of a high court and omutimi make recommendations amremu no etimi de ye adwuma omo recommend say was second Lupoku ye twena so omo ka say he should be reprimanded but omampenya Kufuado na mse ono na na se na chi no say ni kutupa mani ko di say nyambransem no Kufuado e the white paper bae e be clear papa na asotwe a mi short commission kan say mfa maken Lupoku no ya mfa ama no yan koten kotia sa ken Lupoku yi ene na Kufuado ba womia ne MPP fo o mama ne so from colonel to brigadier general and so from brigadier general no o ma sounds where you know fi SWAT one and no Blue Gate national security no e de na ko central command of the Ghana Armed Forces. Let's just say the central part of Ghana soldier for wo nyina no on your opinion and the central command headquarters in Kumasi, the capital of Ashanti region. Now enye se dia omode de ko ya chew about to afi mu an omode na ye den akọ July 2024 na ye hwe mu aya nyina kire se Akufuado sorry I say on handi over mama hamada on handi over mama hamano ta ne nagina obone a one big na Lupoku yabo o senachi e na waka kire ne say on treni more vigilantes e wa sotuare any other military facilities.
Say ya me no casino eyade asa ye training crowd sa na person chere.
Yes, oh, the pictures are there. I will share some with you. He's training them our military facilities. Just like Sammy and MPP vigilantes, they train them and use them for the Ayawaso West for gone by election violence. You know, so now we're training new set of people.
Hey, Sammy. Somewhere I know you. If you say military facilities, a war memo hano. And I day one enye soldier for akogu hona yet water to one said a bayer one bayer to trust
already an import here. We have the pictures. Almost at the end. Akoswa. And I know the captain what you are so that from you have your intelligence. If there is a journalist in Ghana who are deep true sources in all agencies, you are number one. And I know that if you check, you will see training a course get giddy. Nanya training kwa akodi any two any military uniforms, ballot papers in ano. Papa we ni fie and then was store.
Ballot papers saying.
Oh, abano. Oh, the won to be mbabon ti awon o de be bia won be BT and this anyama. Won to be there. Omo de nanim na eje ade ne keke. The why you who hunted the chira. Obroni say he is a mastermind or the master brain behind that evil election rigging plot. And you run a near friend Ken Lupoku and they are brigadier general. And in the fear, and after one year security zone, a soldier for buying 24/7. And one of modern store Yemenina. Tell the Obian the some Johnny Bian TV call, Obian TV day and call. Now can you say, at Dana Obia and short commission, say Enchinaso. Yabona baswa in the brigadier general. Ada no be a wet tip bonnie pepe nipa wa ya so west wagon. Ye di position kese se wo so jemu amano as the general commanding officer for central command. Ada na about what fimu near the position na mano. Na yamfa na nko baby afa Asante region Kumasi to be precise. Na all coordinated central command. Adentia. Enye kwa omu ni mpobo ni omaye den omabo. Na akwa no ye di dinechi. And ya gather the information. Me no can say oni mboni obedinti no or the ma akwa UK. And ono so Akufuado asha ne boss say oh otimi ye we manua. Te said your year ayawa so de ne man no na oje o taking responsibility no or a hero. And then one about why in the brigadier general and commanding officer of central command there. And the Akufuado say 2024 is one. Obu peso pre nipa bu nipa kunkum nipa eye de omo ye ne tachiman south ni ayawa so west wogon ni bi no matimi de wi abanimo na Kufuado ahye de boso ya obema ni CDS and in prem CDS o pompe pra na kwa we omu no over na hwe nyere ordinary my form because of no the command and then the directive direct from Kufuado who is the commander in chief o se ni kutupa se onwia bam na o free say yenim no o free say obi ani di wuntumi mu achi any Abronye mwechi by the yenim no yenim the oye then they are part of Hontoma then by a Ghana for Huno. He is the main master brain behind the MPP's evil election rigging plan. Now, if we say yenim na yenim, you need to do your BH. Now, this time around, you need to was a wow. When I mean tea, any a tea, any the whole tea, the Oma Session, Emma Sonne, Emma Sochina. About 2 way by us to be now the Ghana for pay and obeying Kunim. Now, I'm about to do a may so I'm on May after to my pefra. The Paboni for Pia, why not say, or the Basabasaye, and you Yeni Beba Ghana. On be pre kum agents of NDC new supporters and yadia yebema ne sa kwana enti ye dia seminal ekwa kodan ye radam pare o ye IGP no anso e na abato yi ahobambo won se nyina hye ne nsa chairman of election security task force ono ne ye hwe no ono no mai sebre hye ne nsa te said your boy man asen of abato yi asumdue no on hwe na abato we enya asumdue yema police for nyo madwuma no mo ban na se bibi mu ye dia ye dia soja fo aye den abam enumpo no e wo so mo ko under police na obuteki directives from the IGP no mo making sure say ni pabone for to say brigadier general opoku de ye ma ne men abato ne ho kra because ono o to say abohuriye moja empa de timu da adwemboni aye ne tim ni na kuma muma na ono no di bra ku fo ado dia promising intino so obekum nipa kra de age tumia obekum nipa de age tumia ma MPP. That is all we are saying, and ya came in sense some talk for mo so mu di mani e be di akiri na ye misa ku fo ado say asoja fo bebe eye den na papa we nko na di break cases ama no abrawa wo commission wo say say owura no onye ni papa onye soja ni papa ono na ma hurika sem ne basabasa ye ko so wa ya waso weso go ha Ghana de che bebre ye people mo mo madi dem and na me no ka say aden na nipa we ya no akwakofa na kwa Ashanti region so nko da asrafo nyina no at this time na sorry a oni wuntumi mu na ye meeting ni fie no mo tena plan all the things oni ba wo mienu bia ye friend chief and sem no yanka ni nyina ya kenje bi se na be ya so mu di achinya ya de adanse ye ho beba because he is in meetings. Yeniba wo mienu no mo kan want to be personal assistant mo kan mo plan anyama no. Na yensuro because onyame ni si hene. And na te said onyame apa wo want to mama body o maye. Asoja fododo na omo ni nye hu aba be ka kire no. Sa na de omo be ye bia omo ye ni suma se kra. Onyame enti omada pa be dead.
Sammy, etu a wo kase omode ma sankrofo a omo training omo military facilities ne other places no. Mo so me sure say mo nye asrafo eku mo ye political party. Kwan ben so apart from mo chro no akoma IGP ne other stakeholders no kwan ben so pa na mo fa etimi se ade yi no. Minim se bi o ha won timi kan afi yesu.
Ye de ne say Abronye will shine sunlight on the activities of these miscreants. Na Ghana fu nyina hu omo. Ye kan Peace Council wa, Kale Bishop Conference wa, ye nana Asante Mayura otumfo se tutu ababiu a otoso mienu wativi. Ye de asere ba kodan mpanyifo wo kuru mu anyina. Eno ye the first step because obonifo bia wodi bone a wodi nisumu ase. The kani ato no so a na fe de waya hweyi. Nti that's the first step. The second step is to say IGP ni CDS ya de cartel komo mo na se mi o ma ye mu hwehwemo ye developmental partners US for UK for ECOWAS for ye de papa we boni a wadi Ghana ene kwa wo bo so obedi mo ye de ni nyina kwa akodan omo na yenso te say de mekan no to say Azuma Nelson abatu we ye referee o she yebotum because ye ni say referee na obedi match no ono ne MPP omo nyina omo suggestion ba akọ eno nti ye ahweyi nkwa ye fa polling agents a omunim omadwuma omunim abato mra ne abato nhyehyɛ ba mu akukudrom betim de abobalo boxes on by na nhyehyɛ bia what e digu akwa mu bo ye party for ne agents wo by so na be ya we will never again become victims to brutalities from these hooligans no ye de nhyehyɛ ne begu akwa mu ye de ye pasumdwe na yanko ye bibia de basabasa ye ne oye ne beba ne se obi se obekuya na obe prepare de yebetumi aya ne se the Famudia constitution, Amamna de Maya say, Yamo Yahobino, Yabebo Yahobine. Na ya famra kwanswa bekisho se sa nipa bone fo ne mranyo mu bedi enti ken lopoku de odi gare botoma bone wadi na ya waso weso gon no obebu hu akonta. He will never go scot free. Na bone a why na 2024 is obedi because of what she be ya dia said no. We will do everything within our power and in accordance with law to ensure say enya de beba so ne abaso chene
menim say enwumrei pressure beba, so almost every media house would want to speak with you. Can I book an appointment with you to have you one-on-one tomorrow morning on matching?
Kojo, so the media penny was someone me a mini choice.
It's a channel pa 80k
mini producer Bekasa.
A channel pa 80k minu.
Me bacho mate Kojo. I'll be there.
Sammy Gyamfi me da say. Sammy Gyamfi kasama fokuni Emma, the National Democratic Congress.
Unia 95.1 FM. 95.1 FM.
Yes. So the life house will have a 65. So that will yes, we are going to go. So Sammy, we so you cannot take pictures. But the one you took with the other they can take pictures. That's why someone early noticed so that I'm not more. Come out my expression.
Asante NDC youth and Asia Obuase branch NDC youth any generation na boy home for election 2024 and it said December 7th the electoral commission will declare one declare any NDC for easy the more warning no man out one away what boy who say no yani enyo ho wasamadu o yepie yakra ofie ana yepie aba no yepie yakra ofie yakra ofie eti yese yakori abo ambo mo bia mbuse ebi na mo nyoma na wote wona oye no obi aba declare aba no ofie we police ni so jeng na ntime mbo ya bo ya hu seriously mbo 11 letter commission ya catch we you mistake afro the number chichinga mo bo hu se bo ya hu seriously December 7th. Yani ebe declare. Ya declare mpo wi. Party bia ni Ghana kan bisi. Wallahi party bia ni Ghana kan bisi. Yan slow bia. Akunya ya fa wi. Ayantoko na ebe kwa yin bone ba umi anyina. Wallahi ma yira. Owo ye chukura ma yira. Akunya na fa. You mistake. 2024. December 7th. Midonyame NDC afari mupo yene abapa ye di o sise ni opo NDC youth obo wase branch atatelele yene yakasa no oba ye dada o se ma wodi no midonyame ya fa ye hu nchewo se odi agro wa midonyame motibeti na adwen se obadwa na wa adwen se obadwa na play o play no bebe na gina ya gina wonya kwa ngura play no ya beto o mina nsa na wakọ easy 7 December udi agro ya de boba na be chase bullet no nyame ya de boba na be face bullet no last no yes o be du agro be du no ya de ya kan say omo a wodi oni ato omo so na ti omo say So I'm going money more bar. I'm going to money. I don't know. Come on, Papa. You know
I am telling you here that I will only come in this 7th December within the Achimansa enclave. When police tells me that they cannot, and when I come, I will not talk. I will beat you and the hell with you. I always want people to try me. So those of us seated here, any of you can try me on that day, or try any of my men on that day. When you go to the polling station, just cast your vote, go home, go and sleep. Thank you. When it is 5 p.m., come, they will tell you where to stand. They will count for you. If you win, clap, go home. Then you will not have any problem with me and then my people. We are not going to sit down for just 2 or 3 people to distort the peace that Ghana is enjoying. That is why I don't vote. I don't want to belong to anybody, but I want to beat everybody. We have a duty as religion or religious heads, as security heads, as family heads, as individuals, to protect the good things that we have as a country. And the only good thing we have as a country now is the peace that we are enjoying. Because with the peace, everything can go on. If we distort it now, nothing can go on. See, you will be hungry more than me. And it is a fact. Because when there is war, I will still feed. I will get food from everywhere because I'll come and beat you and collect your food. And I will feed. And it is a fact. I am hungry. You think if I see food with you and I have weapon, I will not kill you and take it. I will do. So it means that you will suffer more than me. And I don't want you to suffer. So I will beat the hell out of you. So please, if you want us to continue
the National Communications Officer of the NDC convened a press conference where he made baseless, frivolous allegations that the MPP is planning to rig the December 7th elections. Among his outlandish claims, he alleged that Brigadier General Opoku, the General Officer Commanding of the Central Command of Ghana Armed Forces, as part of a supposed scheme involving ballot stuffing, swapping of ballot boxes and pig sheet, and other clandestine activities to tilt the balance of victory in favor of the MPP ahead of December 7th elections. These allegations, he claimed, are targeted at the Ashanti region, beginning from the special voting exercise scheduled for December 2nd. Permit me to say this, that the statement is, the allegations made by the National Communication Officer and the NDC are entirely baseless, devoid of any iota of credible evidence, and represent yet another desperate attempt by the NDC to raise tension and distract the people of Ghana from their own misdeeds. You level against a reputable army officer baseless allegations. You do not provide any, not even a single evidence, and yet you want us to take you serious. I have said that nobody can rig these elections. Look, we will vote at the polling station, we will count at the polling station,
coalition will be done, the new patriotic party shall emerge victorious. His Excellency the Vice President will be the next president. Nobody can foment any sort of trouble, whatever form, whatever shape. I dare, if you won't try, nobody. We will vote in peace. We will cast our ballot in peace. Ghana will be united. Ghana will not fall. And I'm telling you, the new patriotic party shall emerge victorious. Indeed, the NDC's communications officer and the NDC failed to substantiate their claim with facts or evidence, demonstrating that this is nothing more than a fabrication designed to divert attention from NDC's own wicked machinations to destabilize the Ashanti region, all because it is a stronghold of the MPP. Ladies and gentlemen, the NDC's desperation is palpable. Their press conference is part of a broader strategy to create unnecessary tension, fear, and panic in the Ashanti region by manufacturing an atmosphere of insecurity. Unfortunately, in doing so, the NDC has stopped to tarnishing the hard-earned reputation of Brigadier General Opoku and the Central Command of the Ghana Armed Forces. Such baseless attacks on the integrity of the armed forces are reckless and dangerous. And you recall, it's this same National Communications Officer who, before the 2020 election, said that all security personnel recruited during the regime of the new patriotic party, they should know that their tenure is coterminous with that of the new patriotic party. And so, if you were recruited, so we are talking about the over 100,000 security personnel recruited under the new patriotic party. This reckless statement from the NDC's National Communication Officer suggested that in an unlikely event that the NDC is back, they are going to terminate the appointment of every immigration officer, every police officer, every military officer, every prison officer, all security officers who were recruited from 2017 to 2024. Such reckless statement. That is the same person saying, throwing all of these baseless allegations around. Let it be known that the MPP will not tolerate any such devilish plans by the NDC. We call on the Inspector General of Police, IGP, and all security and intelligence agencies to closely monitor individuals like COP Kofi Boache, who have been identified as a central figure in these destabilizing schemes. The MPP is also serving notice that any individual who attempts to foment chaos during the December 7th election, especially in the Ashanti region, should think twice, as such actions will be met not equal force, but with much bigger force to protect the peace, stability, and democratic process of our nation.
Keep almost all their flagship promises to Ghanaians, but they have totally run down Ghana's economy, leading to unprecedented hardships and an ever-worsening standard of living. Ghanaians need the experience and steady pair of hands His Excellency John Dramani Mahama offers. His proven track record of sound economic management and the right transformational vision is what Ghana needs at a time such as this to steer us out of the current abyss we find ourselves. We in the NDC are convinced that Ghanaians will vote for change on December 7th. You can say amen to that. Amen. Because the people of Ghana will choose the experienced, tried and tested nation builder, John Dramani Mahama, over the dangerous and fraudulent experiment called Alhaji Bawumia. The MPP knows this, and seeing defeat staring at them in the face, have resorted to dark and evil plans to rig the election through ballot stuffing, the swapping of ballot boxes, pinches, and other shady activities, using willing and dangerous collaborators like Brigadier General Opoku and the 2BN commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel Nyako Osai. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana is all we have. Hence the NDC's unconditional commitment to peace. Anyone who plots or attempts to subvert the will of the people by undermining the sanctity of the upcoming election is an enemy of the state and must be dealt with in accordance with law. We all owe it a sacred duty to God and country to expose and stop such characters so as to ensure that the peace and democracy we enjoy today is sustained. Thank you very much for your attention, and may God bless our homeland Ghana. Calabash. If he says that he will chew a crab, you don't have to argue with him, because there isn't much of a difference between a crab and a calabash. We have shown you the track record of the man we are talking about, Brigadier General Opoku. You all saw what happened at Ayawaso West Wagon. It was the first time in the history of Ghana that we saw so-called national security operatives wearing masks, armed to the teeth with sophisticated weapons, brazenly and openly assaulting innocent unarmed civilians, maiming people. You saw that. Today there are some people who can't walk. They have suffered lifetime deformities because of the brutalities meted to them by those MPP hoodlums. And you heard the confession of the man. He said he takes responsibility. The Elmi Short Commission found him liable for those atrocities and recommended that he should be reprimanded. Are you not worried that the president did not implement that recommendation? And instead of, in what country can a man like this man receive a promotion from colonel to brigadier general? In what country can a man like this man be rewarded after maiming people, brutalizing people, be rewarded with the position of general officer commanding of the central command? In what country? His mere appointment is a scandal, because this is a man who should be facing sanctions and not be enjoying promotion. And as for evidence, these matters are based on credible intelligence we have picked. We know what we are talking about. Unfortunately, the MPP is in office, so they will not allow for a search to be conducted in the presence of the media at his residence. But the media, you have reporters in Kumasi. If he has nothing to hide, he should open his doors today for you to go around his house and check. If he has nothing to hide. But they are in power. The man has been rewarded. There are soldiers guarding his house 24/7, holding arms. So you don't expect that they are going to open their doors and say, come and take pictures. No, they won't do that. But we know what we are talking about. Our intelligence is rock solid, and his track record bears our assertions out. It's as simple as that. And if you doubt us, then the question is, of all the people in the military, how come that it is only this man who was found worthy of the position of General Commanding Officer for Central Command? And how come that this appointment was given to him in 2024? Why not Northern Command? Why Central? Why Ashanti region? You think it's a mere coincidence? Well, we don't think so. So Ghanaians are discerning. They can put 1 + 1 together. They can make their own judgment. But as for us, we will continue to monitor them very, very keenly, because we know and believe that the intelligence we have is rock solid. Yes.
Right. My name is Ube. I report for
Central. I think you got your answer. We are excited that the Member of Parliament for Memphis Central has made that decision. The interests of our party and the decisions of the party always hold supreme, and it's important that all members comply. So the party is united in Memphis Central behind the duly elected parliamentary candidate of the party, Mrs. Joanna Kujo. And I believe that Honorable Kwachiaka fully supports President Mahama as well as the candidate for the NDC for the presidential election. So you have your answer. And there was a question about whether or not we intend to present any evidence to the CDS. I believe that upon our petition being brought before the CDS and the IGP, there may be a call for further and better particulars. And at that level, we will share the details of our intel with them. These kind of security intelligence are not matters that you share on TV and radio. But when we meet them, when they give us that audience, we are happy to share that with them, because we need to, in the public domain, at least protect our sources. So that is what I can say. And I think that same answer also applies to the last question we had as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the summary of the press conference we did today. I'm going to do a brief translation in the Akan language, and let me say this finally. You all, as media men, have a role to play in this year's election. You are the fourth estate of the realm, and you should be interested in the peace and stability of Ghana, and in the sanctity, the credibility of the electoral process. You've seen this man. Once upon a time, 2019, Colonel Michael Lupuku, today Brigadier General Michael Lupuku. So you have a conscience, and you have your own ethics of your profession. Ask yourself whether this man is fit to be the General Officer Commanding of the Central Command of the Ghana Armed Forces. Ask yourself if he is even fit to wear the uniform he's wearing today, given the atrocities he supervised against innocent civilians at Ayawaso West Wuogon, and the recommendations of the Short Commission on Sin. I believe that every reasonable man will agree with us that this man is a threat to the peace and stability of Ghana, and a threat to peaceful elections in Ghana. And he must be held accountable for the atrocities he has already committed at Ayawaso West Wuogon, and not rewarded with such a critical position. And so for us as a political party interested in having a credible election, a peaceful election, and like I said, our commitment to Ghana having a peaceful election is unconditional. And that is why we are saying this guy should be nowhere near the security architecture for this country, because he represents a very dangerous threat to peaceful elections and the stability of Ghana.
When you have your uncle, unfortunately today there's only one uncle here, so when you have your uncle and you have brothers and sisters all in one place, it gives you a lot of comfort, and you find it difficult to be formal. So forgive me if I ended up being formal. I didn't cause it. The relationship between myself and your very good self across the room might be held responsible. So without much protocol, I want to add my voice to the words of welcome that preceded me from our director in charge of public affairs and also our director general in charge of operations. Second, I want to say that today the purpose, much as is about the elections, is no more about the details of our plans. We will have another meeting with you in terms of the details of our plan and the assurances that you need to have for yourself, for your families, and for the people you serve. But because my two other officers and also my uncle and my kid brother have spoken about the fact that you want to hear a little about the elections, I'll be very snappy on that and then come back to the main reason why we invited you. As for the elections, it is a saying that agrobeswa efranopa. In effect, if truly we are going to see a good show, you should look at the beginning, even though it does not always happen as such. But we are committed because of the efforts we put in our planning towards these elections. We are clear in our minds where the challenges are, where the issues are, and we have sufficiently put in measures to address them. And if you can see from all the work we've done since this election process started in earnest, from all the Electoral Commission's activities to date, you will see that there is truly an effective and efficient security plan in place, whose effectiveness has been strengthened by the support and collaboration of all stakeholders, including your very good self. So for that reason, we are grateful. The service is grateful to you. The National Election Security Task Force, comprising all the security agencies, are grateful to you. And more so, Ghana, that you serve, through your information and gatekeeper role, is grateful. You can never be left out of the equation for it to be balanced. Without you, the equation of ensuring that our democratic dispensation becomes the envy of others will not balance. So we want you to be aware that we hold you in high esteem. Thank you for being there for Mother Ghana. And let's do this together and make this election a success. So you will see that compared to previous elections, the tension in the environment is different and relatively manageable. And at times, if you look at it across the matters of democracy, you see that even the tension in their environment during the election is more than what you experience in our country. In fact, today I played host to a very important person from Kenya, and he walked into my office and he said, until I came to your office and you're talking about elections, I didn't know Ghana was having elections in the next 2 weeks. And the calmness of the environment, the less tension in the environment, is the credit to every Ghanaian that we must be proud of. So you see that because of the things we put in place, and your support and the support of the larger community and other stakeholders, we are gradually getting to the end of a campaigning cycle or period where we haven't seen much of the things that put us on tenterhooks. let us finish hard and prove a point to the rest of Africa that truly Ghana is always a trailblazer. And let us use our collective achievement to let the black man, and for that matter African, shine in the eyes of the rest of the world. Let's finish hard on the campaigning. Then when we come to the D-Day, it's another leg. Let's double our commitment, which we are doing from the security point of view. That is why I keep referring to a 5,430 something or 40 something page document, a blueprint, a deployment plan for only the D-Day. That demonstrates the amount of effort, commitment, and energies we put in place in ensuring that we work together with you and other stakeholders to make this election a one of a kind in terms of peace, security, law, and order. The credit will be for all of us. So let us all get on board. Then on the D-Day, in terms of deployment across the polling stations, we are there. Across the hotspots, we are there. Across the coalition centers, we are there. And also across patrols and rapid response, we are there. We are currently working with the telcos to assign to us a dedicated number that will be used in this room. We will share that with you, share that with all the political parties, share that with all the stakeholders, so that wherever you find yourself, when there is a situation, and the situation you think that is not being managed well, and you need intervention at the very highest, you can, through calling that number, assess myself directly and assess any of the commissioners and the team members on the ground. And we are going to use an engagement approach to handle the situation by bringing on board all the stakeholders at the very highest level, so that at the end of the day, any situation that normally starts very small, then because of lack of perfect mechanism for resolving it, it gets out of hand, we will virtually eliminate it. Let me explain that probably better. Normally what we've seen at the polling station, something will happen, something very trivial, that need a little patience and a little engagement to iron out the differences. It will be more handled, and at times the security personnel on the ground will do his very best, and so you have issues with party officials, agents, and others trying to create problems. When that happens and it comes to our attention, we will call to that grounds from here, get the regional commander, other senior officers on grounds on the phone, get the political parties from their national level, their district level, constituency level, also on the phone, and find out what exactly is the matter on the ground. And it may come in multiples, but because the dedicated line has core transferring capacity or capability, we'll be able to be dealing with multiple issues at the same time, because as soon as it comes, we will then refer it. A commissioner will be on it, who may call a general secretary of the two parties or national organizers of the two parties, who will call an agent of the parties on the ground, and we look at the issue. And when they get to know that the very top is helping them to solve it, they'll end up not taking matters into their own hands before we go in there and reactively respond to a situation that has gotten out of hand. So a lot of thinking is going into this whole process and trying to look at all the possible issues that can bring problems and find a very peaceful mechanism to resolving them in a manner that will help us to make sure that at the end of the day, little misunderstanding that may come, the way they are resolved to the satisfaction of everybody will lead to no problem in terms of any violence. The other point that we keep also saying, also to the people who think that they can probably come out making statements to intimidate and do all that, we want to tell them that life will become very uncomfortable for them. So they shouldn't even try. Because at the end of the day, when you do anything and de-escalation fails, you do anything, and engagement fails, when we come and will come with the full force of the law in a manner that dignifies us as a people, please don't complain. And it is here that we want to seek your support as we do that, in a way that the people will know that at the end of the day, if the police also get it right, they have people to speak for them. Than the normal issue that when we get it right, it's no news. It's normal. But as soon as we seem to got it wrong, even if the facts are now clear, it's a big news. Let's help ourselves to avoid that. So in summary, in terms of the preparation for the election, this is just the excerpt I want to give you to be comfortable and use it to tell your people who listen to you across the country that Ghana will continue to enjoy the peace that it has been enjoying during this period of the election. And even that peace, because of the way all of us will work together to prosecute this election in a manner that winners will know that they have won, losers will also know that they have lost, and they have lost fairly, and therefore they have no business trying to incite anybody to do anything that will disturb the peace. Will be clear in their mind, and there will be no motivation for them to do that, and this country will continue to enjoy the peace that we cherish so dearly, for which we have become the envy of the rest of the continent. Now let me speak to the reason why we are here today. We are here today because of you. We know the critical role that you are playing in this country, and we know how critical that role has become during these particular elections. And for that matter, we are concerned about your safety and security. So we decided to call you and let you know what we have put in place to give you the peace of mind, for you to be able to go about your duties without any fear of thinking that something will happen to you, or happen to your household, or happen to the institution that you work. So that is the main purpose. And we are doing it in a manner that one of my colleagues will speak to, in terms of the 6 or 7 points that we will put in place to work with you. This time, a little different from what you have been experiencing in the past. And when we are able to work together on this line, we can assure you, you yourself will have more confidence to go out there and do your job. You have more confidence to operate from the facilities that you work with, and you have more confidence to close from work and go to home safely without thinking of any harm being done to you.
The Deputy Chair Finance, Deputy Chair Operations, Commission Secretary and Directors of NCCE Civic Education. These dialogues are important fixtures on the NCCE's election year calendar and fulfill the requirements regarding functions of the Commission as stated in our Enabling Act, National Commission for Civic Education Act 1993, Act 452. The political parties, traditional authority, security apparatus in the district, religious leaders, local government, and other leadership structures in the district. The NCC is happy to announce the successful commencement of the 2024 parliamentary candidates dialogues across the 275 constituencies of the country. These dialogues are part of an ongoing commitment to fostering an informed electorate and promoting peaceful, issue-based elections in Ghana. The NCCE Parliamentary Candidates Dialogues, PCDs, are platforms for interaction at the constituency level and provides avenues for candidates to articulate their vision and policies for the constituency they want to lead and engage with constituents on issues of national concern.
Present you with the copy of the final certified voters register for the 2024 election. Thank you very much.
Our flag bearer, our presidential candidate, His Excellency Al-Hajj Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, would be the next president of the Republic. From all indications, up, down the country, we are winning the presidential elections, and then we're also going to have a clear majority. The chaotic scenes perpetuated by the NDC in Parliament will be the thing of the past. The New Patriotic Party will have a clear majority in Parliament.
What? No, as a second, ni bia or sheba bia no. Opie na wo de so na ni preso na otonaba edema Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Any MPP parliamentary candidate bia or contest or conference bia. Abawe oyenba abatwa ye kwa to say you pay free education, and I say you pay free education. So what you say?
Yeah.
So 2 years here, I am number 1. Number umiane da number 1 no. A class of pay free education. Oto and this year, a class of pay free education, and I will tell you why. Nienti America sana say. What is the NDC be at radio show, including Dondarga Muhammad? At radio need TV be also catch we assist or no bar or but free education for Yaza. Adentia. O Mampanina Nanado Dankwa Kofuado. We know Cassania 18 years and boy. And to visit Diana or near Bimu Riasi, any Abrabomo. But a pay or Mampanini fear wedding in a chino. What you must for our watching. I prepare Kata. I am a Marase. Me queen. A dear Nebesimachi. And to be a Mediaba. Your friend free education. Me born buying and son of my friend Kunyanaso. Oko Luke, one machine in Amrapata, Oko Germany, one machine in Amrapata. And no man Panini say, me Koino, a dear free education. A young man wants them pinky. Me young Rabata wants that. Chinabi, CPP, PNC, NDC. And now party be back by one can free education, no, mean to me, and I may come. Oh, yes, sir, running on yelling, Benny. And on this hammer away. I go to Parliament. The Parliament, you're babbing, a damo on an NDC for MPP walk, not free education, man, or one tone, never say. A child party be power on to make free education more. Abamba any NDC for one say, one free parliament in net, one free parliament for China, the free education man, Yaquako Jetum, and to get our more country Ghana for. What the free education over to us? And I think we are duty. No, I had to Parliament here. A cancer free education. Or people open and sign customer year free work, and I'm a criminal. A woman, one Parliament, and I'm one part of Samarano. NDC MPs. From Hama Catcher, NDC MPs. What catcher about Babin, some more Parliament in there, and Quachina. I'm a national chairman of NDC. That's what you should be up there. And this is how to be of the Parliament. What this hammer and a tumor, one the unity. And to get a 20 year through one point, anybody a good of here. Yamino Cassate Sieno, Yawama, our Parliament, yes, to say it to two. Manabayama, I a book free education, what I. And this is what I say. Young Parliament in net and Quachina. And what is I'm running to? check down a portrait. She a mistake at the NDC bar. Free education man also moving to me. That's all about one. I'm not going to free education. So we will be a matter of gentlemen to us. Set down a portrait higher. NDC bar 2009. June 2009. Last 5 minutes of the announcement to say, Lima, I want to talk to you, but you're over to you. Why announcement? I want to make you so big and Jobia. It's your boy, I saw free education. I'm not home pet, the one 1 year or 7 December. I found that too many doctors like him about me. And then a parliamentary candidate in 276 constituencies say, well, one pay free education. And 2 years, 1 year back or 2. No what to say. Some for wait here or about me. Free education, and this was among parliament. One of the party. I am to before no, not so big a phone a bit to my yes at the end of January. However, Maca and one real Parliament, also among Poino. One of the very accurate say, appropriation bill at the summer past year. Among December, I do my 4 more market here, a teacher 4, nurse 4, doctor 4, contractor 4, not more workers. The public sector, TUC 4 Milano, Wamakatia, wouldn't say December, and now Subana and this year, then I did so among parliament. He came to my 40 minute burner or head, or you are aware of that.
Oh,
we are aware, sir, and this is parliament, no more among and what the appropriation pay and tomorrow. He came to my 4. Everybody going up, a big delay. Now, walk the Tony, Nanny Pana would say, won't clear my 12 more. Sister, everybody on my name kitchen here. Young Pierre to my 4,000 party, I got the 4th over and I over Chino, and yes, I'm here. Because the scanner ought to do come to my name and Pianica. And this in what? And to say, for 90 minutes a year, a different possible to mainline, and say, for 90 minutes of 4, I'm not bound to power to a follow. I did it for the young one and fortunate. And to me, say, a different net, a possible not piano. Ghana to my name be after piano. The normal general 7 for, and not 7 for him, because I can't do the parliament in there, or parliament to a tenant. And so your kitchen, let's have December, oh, Papa, oh, baby, oh, Papa. We are listening, no, Papa, oh, baby, oh, Papa. We are doctor, no, Papa, oh, baby, oh, Papa. We are contract member. We are TUC member. We are TAU member. Oh, baby, oh, Papa, 7 December. Na NDC partnership mo Ghana to my 4. For 1 year juma, what's up after by the Kyoka? Abronye you ready some dimensions say parliament. And this is what a young partner, young partner put into me to my 4. It is a Ghana to my 4, and you got to do because of young parliament. You really know. NDC. Abronye ye kwa kwa we engineer no wash on you. But we are aware ye say at the parliament and electoral commission I ready to say ye for ye electoral for ye so we are aware Saturday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday no electoral commission ye say about to what prepare the theater, the best memenda, and how was said, young Fanko, that we are aware of that.
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah.
Now, after we have one, the memenda, and the electoral commission, and the attorney general, Ghana, buying, and another than what of one down on. When you like it to say, I'm not one of the theater, the memenda. Ana kwasieda mwafanta ye bonsushi no adi nkramo sumdi adi aboso sumdi adi kristo sumdi enti sita na mwa enti ne abasa ye nkinkwada sumbi anyere eni ho emra no kwado parliament no andi fo ati andi fo ayi MPP fo enti sama no wonyi ntum
that's true
fo parliament dan kwakwa ba munyai o ya we anti andi fo amu kwakwa ba parliament no emotional MPP aban electoral commission aban e say emotional enyama o my Ghana e sinfie da enkamosum enyama o my Ghana entumemendana echiye no aban aye MPP aban ye nhihye ani electoral commission say edamemendana emwa ndifo nti ya record da ebeboa na omo so tomato bi ndifo say ndifo aye MPP fo until you are running to no matter buyer. I'm an MPP. Okay, I give me over Biano. On the year not 7 December. Over the Autonabaco. What's the ending to commit to near the Mako Parliament? I'm not told that I'm filming that. Near Fanquata. NDC, I don't know Jenny. Let me catch an idea for the family MPP for. And to a man for Twaba, dear, by him for more. Idea for a bathroom. So I doing that. I'm more a kaya sit home. I'm more a kaya home. And tell me, Pia or Tiba Piano or Yenna Via. Oh, what did it say? And this is one of my dinner to say, one of my subjects, and I call me down what water. On the 2 months, and here for MPA, one of the poem, and what water and Kiao. Because I didn't know what you know, and your papa. I know about my kind of time, you always have a press conference, and yet I know a video quite clear. I'm for dear. Come on, respond to that little rat. Yes. Come on, respond to that little rat. And now, Chicago, reality. I ought to keep my son quiet and get in. What yet? One son said, oh, no, media press conference, quite bombing. In Ghana politics in 20 years ago, women just have made them visit no class. Women have said the cheap enemy. Now, I need dear or one answer piano. Let's a lawyer Nino or Nini Yadia. As some Bia Nini Bacano or Baku with fact any evidence. And I'm a boy.
Yeah.
Marassi. What's the kung. Oji budget to fill one more for Brabana. To our vertical then, into all the budget to qua. Some of them free, and this now or yet the thing now. Or you say come, and I want fully soldiers in the soda, or yet press conference about one thing that I make them feel a bit tired. I get our home, or not the year because we school one copy. Until the school now, or soon young press conference. Not Chicago, Mahama, Riano, or one of the Diana Japadi. No, I'm going to full soldiers. Watch now, ask yourself. That's a medium feel constituency tower. And you go so by the Bonano. Now, one can get the men for convoy and Coco. I told now about hanging out in the benefit of the Amaka press conference.
Tommy.
Oh, yeah, announcement or Banda. constituency or Owenty or Basunan West or Basunan Isia or Batuana and Kra and the Gina machine at almost a dear Kraten. Now, I have to them to the Bakono. I feel look at the Aquamita convoy, maybe, or national time. When copy already have BIA, I saw. Sammy Gyamfi convoy, and also tell me power or Shiamo. And this is General Secretary, and it's a convoy. Land Cruiser to be a two. No, Dimachi, General, and this is General Secretary Granby. And the convoy and Quago to train, and the Sunano West, and it's for Beshiamo. Now, Obogana and of faith of Abono, only a successful. Abama and this Yadim Konima. Megano won't commit you what say. What I know about you were born region, you know. Oh, post to on the plate shop. Oh, post to about our born region, I want to apostle Peter Makora.
I'm here to say it.
I would have said on the plate shop. But why a press conference to say about Abono all kind of one, and I'm a boy.
Yeah.
What to Sammy Gyamfi page? Sabono Toma or Koyano. Only living pictures here. And then let's open my beer, you show, and my mom for who's over how I'm a boy. And Kiapono, oh, yeah, what did you say to Mamma Berry? Woman and show pictures in Channel. Now, what the hell? No, I can't hear me say. Only from. But I took the small say, Papa, dear, the new papier. And you know, that's a new, yes, I go away or rating, let's walk on Murray. And it's all I can't say. Abronye to me, I was soon until I saw the Congo. I did not wish I say, Baba, what power of I and many because. Make kind of our rating, ultimate pool is 0.1% growing. Oh, yeah. And the parliamentary candidates are watching on me. Yabu rating now. What a ton separate. Sammy Gyamfi separate. Lababia to the near message. Over you know. Over now, the buy a door for change. And Nipa Oshia or our banda, when T. Sunana West, time. Sunani East, Omisano. And a man for Pisata, who am I alone and now she only call my day. One I'm alone and now she don't call my day. Oh, now Princess Trump and Nikita, what's an also a man of wire day? I am. I took on one day, none and none come out, and none and none look at the no focus to go and no focus to go and no coming.
Miwakumasi Anna, and this for by yet. That's some friend or say, town hall meeting was then Prempa Assembly Hall. So on the boss in it, Kojobonsu, yeah, and a Samre. Samuel Sapon and a regional minister. And a Kojobonsu yet came the boss. Or me a no cat. Into a mopa, if I plan sending Boko, Samuel Sapon, you must obey them. The more no catch him says Sammy Gyamfi or Penny Pebia Momakubisa, Samuel Sapon question, a man who watching. I'm so saying it. More than this before. And I'm Mopobia Kogumu when was enemy the meeting. You're going to fear of Patasi. You're quite near Tenassi. Sammy Gyamfi, Miss Osime Bois. Mina make us movement television so. Ya ko Sammy Gyamfi fear of Patasi. Stronger than appetite. And was men pay nipa me nun come home. Na monye den. Na yen ko busa Samuel Sapon question a. E be me ni magu ase. Sammy Gyamfi. And I'm sure there no problem be here. And I'm charge you no. And I'm frame cruise me bo mama ne. And I'm say be here. Na you go do one pa no. You go do premier assembly one pa. Ko busa question more dey. Why na adwen say yen na me say da roka say yen kwada yen ko bisa question ni yansa na de sika bre masa me yen ko o ha no dim nika no tu ka no call bank no ko yi sika no bre o ko yi sika no bre yen ye ji e Sammy Gyamfi bo mo pass e boy pass yen ko gu Samuel Sapon ni mu ase
Then regional minister. But Kojo Bones number yes on this edgeman. Kojo Bones that no ya Kumasi Mayor. Okay.
Enti ye kwa ye do say ye twetwe ni e bi do question time no. Wo mo hunu me no say me wo ho no. Afa no me na to shock because me as a end this program. O ye me dan o che diamond kra me ma ho. Enti do say me wo ma na o go mo ho anu ase. Enye sika no percent na me koye. But o mo ho a o mo go mo ho anu ase.
Na we interest and mu gwase go no.
Enti me koduru ho no afa ye kodila anu so na bedru mi so a. O say answer we. Enti o person mo twa fam ho nti. Obo answer third question na mkoje microphone say mo bi some question ni yapon. Me zuma ba.
And person na ade no modu kakra.
Na modu. And of so bu some question no.
It's a movement.
And na omo say aja, bra won so busa ade yi. Na me dey regional minister nti na mbae. Timbe busa no question, na me bisa.
Na busa no.
Na me regional minister. Echi excavators.
And so kai question no kra.
Ya chi excavators free ram di bakromu a. 2 weeks excavators no say akọ. Eden excavators no committee say China for jom 200 million na dia momoko
just galamse ho
asem
galamse question
na me nkobisa.
Okay.
2 na ni boy bi wo ni wadi bi ase no ye nadmo coordinator mache na de da Robert na ono regional minister no wo galamse site ho boy no na hweso ekodu be
na o mo say
me say boy ni makoda.
Okay.
Ekodu be o me yakwachire boy no say asem no baaye no eno ma ye kwachire boy no eno twe ne ho firi ho ena mbusa ne se Robert na wo ma ye kwachire no makoda no mabusa no wo se site no ye wo dia so adenti na wo akwaje site wo ye galamse na wo de akoda akotoa no na asem no baaye de watwe ho me a kire akoda no afiri ne dem ho ye from asem ho ni pegu firi o ma ne bo ama to wona na che MCO che program no omukikum tibu mu afiri I'm say a question no dey obi am say question bi so ma hu say cruise mi no nso di machi
yeah
obi am say question no bi na ade ya kalam say di ndie ya te committee bi a mo hwe nti we dey munya botre mai ho am from say masa ye saka yesika mo mienko ena pu a ye dey pie na
e masa ya adwuma no so
ya adwuma no wo Sammy Gyamfi be ka kire obi soja panin so ye miscreant Sammy Gyamfi Rattle Park wo Kumasi sika Sammy Gyamfi wi a wo ho ena odi ko bie pub e wo KNUS wo Sammy Gyamfi krono a wo bo no Kumasi ena no pana ka say MPP for na join DC for ena manya no keka nkwa asem kire Ghana for wo Sammy Gyamfi aba ka so be miscreant krono a wo bo no KMA ena wanya ba bia ginanti obi soja pani a wono wa kodi ni soja afamu a de na ko enkurase ne ye de na ko tutu wure maba a wo ye na djuma no so e miscreant tiase mo ya sa na je se mo di nkwasa asem a na asoja fo na ka se ye ko kan won be ka se MPP fo achi mo di nkwasa ma soja fo no be bumo on the day of election obi apa oni nkwasa bo Ghana ha na sa santimante mu na ka soja fo no de ntino mu go wa etu mu ka obobo ma no ho ban enti se odi nkwasa asem a eba mo ma no bambo eso ate anase ho betechima o mo mfa ho nchew.
All right, now interesting. Me nya messages be from 5 police officers and 2 actually military officers. Almost say my high ho. Na Sammy Gyamfi no opa odo omiye enem
K-Bar TV, voice of the voices.